Confined Spaces personnel. There are three categories of workers involved in permit-required confined space operations: Authorized Entrants, Attendants, and Entry Supervisors. Each group has specific responsibilities and duties to ensure work in permit spaces goes as safely and smoothly as possible. Let us discuss the roles and responsibilities of each category of workers in detail. An authorized entrant is a worker who is authorized by the entry supervisor to enter a permit space. Authorized entrants must understand the hazards present in the confined space, recognize the symptoms of exposure, and be trained to properly use all required PPE. When inside the confined space, authorized entrants must maintain communication with the safety attendant outside the space, to enable the attendant to monitor the entrance status and alert the entrant to evacuate when necessary. The authorized entrants must alert the attendant to any signs or symptoms of exposure, or if a condition prohibited by the entry permit is detected inside the space. Authorized entrants must leave a permit space as soon as possible when they are ordered to evacuate by the safety attendant or supervisor. They recognize the signs or symptoms of exposure. A prohibited condition is found to exist, or an automatic alarm is activated. An attendant is an individual stationed outside the permit space, who monitors conditions within the space and prevents unauthorized entry. The safety attendant must remain at their station outside the permit space, unless relieved by another attendant, and be ready to perform non-entry and entry rescues as specified by the employer's permit space program. The attendant must understand the existing and potential hazards present in a confined space, and recognize the symptoms of exposure to these hazards. The safety attendant is responsible for maintaining an accurate count of all authorized entrants entering the permit space, and maintaining communication with each worker inside the space. The safety attendant must ensure that unauthorized individuals do not enter the permit space. Immediate evacuation should be ordered by the safety attendant if a prohibited condition exists inside the space. An authorized entrant exhibits symptoms of exposure. A condition exists outside the permit space that could endanger workers inside the space. Or the attendant is unable to fulfill their assigned duties for any reason. The attendant must summon rescue and other emergency services as soon as it becomes evident that the authorized entrant needs assistance to escape from the permit space. An entry supervisor is a qualified person who oversees all entry operations into a permit space. This person is usually the employer, foreman, or crew chief. An entry supervisor may also serve as an attendant or authorized entrant, as long as they are trained for each of these roles. Entry supervisors must verify that entry conditions have been met before any work begins in the confined space, including all pertinent entries on the permit, air monitoring, and allocation of required personal protective equipment. Supervisors must ensure that entry operations remain consistent with the conditions specified in the entry permit, and that acceptable entry conditions are maintained. The availability of rescue services and the means of summoning them must be verified by the supervisor to ensure that, in case of an emergency, authorized entrants will be removed from the space in a timely manner. The entry supervisor must terminate entry and cancel or suspend permits when entry operations are completed, or if conditions different from those stated in the original permit are found to exist in the space.